okay, sit there, you're the one driving this project. Sente zange zonna kanziteeke ku face yo, bw'onaalwala noga sigenda kujja nga ziggwawo, like akitegeera. So I think the same way I had to make it work, I expect other people who want to work with me to do the same, like to also have something tangible, something to show. Yeah, I've done this and I'm doing it way better than, you see that movie you shot over there, shooting bulungi, I can shoot it better for you. Then it makes sense. It makes sense for me to stop doing it and I give it to you ali better. Newe ojanga naye weeyiya kati lwaki ffenna abeeyiya tweteeka wamu, there's no point. There's no value.
So speaking about the authorities in concern to your catalog, film industry, around 2017, 2018 now, there was the blind date. It was a surprise.
2017?
Yeah.
No, blind date came out last.
No, like there was the first movie that you released.
The Bad Mexican.
Yeah, Bad Mexican. Sorry about that. Disclaimer, there was the Bad Mexican. So if you are to look at the Bad Mexican, it has a plot that has, let me say, someone who is an inmate, Ngatavamuno, and you executed the whole storyboard. So I want you to tell us one of the motive that you had coming up with a movie of that sort. Because during that time, I don't think we had gotten someone doing the same plot as you executed it.
Okay. It's okay. So in the time you're talking about, I think, I'm not sure, I'm not really good with days, with dates, but I think maybe that's the Bad Mexican. So the Bad Mexican is about a young actor that's looking for a job, but then he doesn't get the feedback from the job early enough, so he kills himself like right before the phone call comes in. So as for the blind date, after doing Girl in the Yellow Jumper in 2019, and it was supposed to premiere in 2020, then we got lockdown. So during lockdown is when I wrote the blind date, and we shot it like, I don't know, towards the end of 2020 there, I think, end of 2020. Yeah, and then we shot the next one in 2021, 16 rounds. So all those short movies that you've seen came after the Girl in the Yellow Jumper. Yeah.
So I wanted us to end with the Girl in the Yellow Jumper because it's the highlight, but I wanted us to talk about the principles in terms of film, because when you look at film, there are many principles that every director follows. There is dialogue, there is plot. So what is that principle that you feel you have strength in as a director as compared to other directors? Kyekyo ekintu ky'olaba nga gwe kye kikutambuza era nga ge maanyi g'okozeseza okutuuka w'otuuse?
I think kati nganze ndaba bintu bingi byenkyayiga, so kyeneegomba mmanya ye kutelinga stories eziri better. Right now nkyayiga buyizi, so sijagamba nti ntuuseewaawo wennyini, naye nga njagala nnyo ezo stories ezirina twists, ezirina dialogue ali interesting, naye nga nkyayiga biyige, tenabafuuka strength gye nga nti that's my strength. So sometimes nyinza okukozesa maybe elaborate camera moves or graphics, sometimes okubika some of the issues I might have with the storytelling. But what kyeneesiga nti, if you've seen some of my drawings are almost photo real. Now the reason for that is because I've been drawing for like more than 20 years. I started when I was a child. So the experience I have in that is the reason why it's that good. So like writing nakatandika wano Jojuzi 2018 when natandika writing. So I excuse myself if my storytelling is not yet there, kubanga I've only been doing it for a few years. So that's why I always forgive myself. But no, I'll improve. I'll make it better with time as I pick up experience. Yes.
So if you're to look at also the film industry, there are many things that happen behind the scenes. There are many people that you deal with as a director. I'm talking about the writer. I'm talking about the gaffer. So what is that one thing behind the scenes that you feel is paramount that the people should know about in concern to perfection when it comes to production?
sound. It's sound. Everything else can fail, but sound can't fail. Yeah, you can watch a movie with grain. If the sound is good, you will not realize how bad it is. So sound is number one. Either for us when we're shooting and we got a very good take, and the sound guy says we didn't get that, no one got anything. We all didn't get anything. Because sound is key. The sound guy is the boss. As much as they're not respected, but sound is extremely important. It's in the hierarchy of things I care the most about. Sound is, of course, story is number one, followed by sound, then the image, and yeah.
So, talking about sound, I would like you to appreciate one of the individuals that are good with sound according to those you have worked with. Because wano tetulaba bintu bye bakola twagala n'abantu ababikola, and you give us the reason as to why, plus the project, the remarkable thing he did with the project that you worked with him.
So there's a company called Quad-A. That's the company I usually work with. Now the funny thing about sound, unlike visuals where it's easy to say that olabye camera wekoze bweti, sound, it's the subtle things bw'otayinza na kulowoozaako awo. Like for example, ng'omuntu atambula engatta engeri gye yeekululamu wansi, omuntu okutegeera weight y'omuntu, n'okola sound appropriate to their weight, alaba omuntu alaba ewaka n'atabifanako nti eyo sound bongeddewo nnyongere. It's very hard work, but it's wankugerezenga mulimu ki. Waliwo omulimu gw'ogamba nti bw'ogukola obulungi ennyo abantu tebalina kunotisinga nti ogukoze n'ogukola. Like oba nyiza kikugerezanga ku ki, like nti oba omuntu bw'okola exercises bulungi, omuntu akulaba alina gabugambi ayo omuntu ali healthy, okitegeera. So talina kugamba nti omusajja alayika akola nnyo, bw'ozikola to level w'olina ozikolera, omuntu alina kulaba n'agamba omuntu oyo ng'ali mu shape, like afaanana ng'omuntu bw'alina ofaanana, okitegeera. So when it comes to audio, the guys I've worked with, Quad-A, they do music, not necessarily on music ono w'okuyimba, but production sound. Like okuwulira empewo ng'omuntu atambula n'owulira obuntu kati ng'eyembwa eboggola mugyongeddemu bwongezi naye omuntu ali ewaka ayinza olowooza weeri, kitegeera. So obuntuntu weebutyo kati omuntu ayongeramu obwo obuntu wabuteekamu so well, omuntu alaba eka tasaana ategeera nti waliwo kyebongeddemu, kati that's good sound. This is what these guys do. So I want to commend them. Era mwetaaga mubaleete. Not necessarily, but they add the world. So when shooting omuntu ng'atudde mu motoka, usually ngeri shot on a green screen, ng'atudde ali bw'ati, tali muvuga motoka bya ddala, naye bagayi bongerako sound y'emmotoka, engine, ne bongerako ezo shock spring ng'oziwulira, ne bongerako sound y'empewo eyita wabweru, ne bongerako a lot of things, then ne babimatchinga ne sound yange ne sounding eddala ddala ng'ali awo. Kati omuntu alaba ewaka, in their head they forget that I'm just in a car etalina weegenda. As much as the visuals will help, but sound will sell it more. Kwanga bagamba oba we do what with our eyes, but we feel with our ears. So for you to feel like this is an actual world, like when I shot 16 rounds, there's a scene where a guy is smoking in the rain. We were supposed to shoot amasannyalaze ne gagenda, omuyindi omuti guli mu kikomera kya muyindi, ne tumwegayirira atukkirize twambuke tutereeze n'agaana, ne tusigala ne tukozesa obutaala butono bwe buti n'amazzi matono bwe gati. So without sound ng'olabira ddala tewali nkuba yonna etonnya, naye sound wemala okwongeramu sound ematchinga n'amazzi agagwa ku ttaka, ne bongeramu ne lightening, ne bongeramu n'enkuba eri distant, bw'oba okiraba olabira ddala nga enkuba etonnya ebyaddala, okitegeera. So kati nze bwe mba n'abantu bwe batyo kinkamfatinga, bwe mbeera nshooting ekintu mmanya nti actually if I can get this much, bagayi ba sound bajja kunnyamba kibeere better. So that's how important sound is.
So speaking about sound, there is what they call ADR, audio replacement. So is there like any project that required you to carry out ADR? And I want you to share that scenario because wabeerawo faults nyingi mu production. Njagala abantu abalaba free pass baleme kugwamu maanyi obabuulire n'engeri gy'obeera ng'oterezaamu sound ng'omaze production nga tebiteredde because these scenarios happen day in day out.
Actually, regarding the Yellow Jumper, the entire movie is ADR. The entire movie. But it's so good that sometimes when I'm watching it, I forget that it's actually ADR. Yeah.
Share that scenario. I would want to know it.
The entire movie. So we shot people in a car. Because most of the movie, Girl in the Yellow Jumper, most of it happens in a car. So we shot the movie in the car. We made some mistakes. We used a car carrier, but it had the worst sound. Like it had no oil. It was making a squeaky sound. And now that squeaky sound wouldn't have a problem because you could say maybe it's the car's sound. But the problem is every time we changed camera from the other side to this side, there were different squeaks. So when we're editing, we can't put those two things together. It doesn't flow. So we decided, okay, we're going to change everything shot in a car. After changing everything we shot in the car, we realized that now the things we've changed are so good, but then everything else is bad. So then we had to change everything as well. Yeah.
So speaking about production on set, how do you manage like unprofessionalism on set? Because on set you are mobilizing the actors plus the production team. So there are scenarios of unprofessionalism when it comes to the actors and actresses themselves together with the team. So how would you deal with a situation whereby there is unprofessionalism on set?
We tend to our sets are usually relaxed, but most times I don't have to deal with that because people that are like that, we tend to just separate like really early on. And that's why I work with mostly the same people because I know that they're going to deliver. So I've not had a lot of that. But if something like that came up, yeah, we just get someone else. We just get someone else. Yeah.